the Rovers next year, but it's out on the playing field where Bradford perhaps have been classified as a yo-yo team this particular season. They really did spend big in the off-season. They brought in no less than 13 players, and they have been riddled by injuries throughout this year, but and you can see Andy Lynch, the captain there, determined. They realise for any chance at all they must win at least three of the last four. So it's going to be a nervous start, I feel. I just get the impression that Hull Kingston Rovers, Justin Morgan, will have given out the tactics and say, look, we really have got to get up to a flying start.
Well, the referee James Child blows the whistle, and Patrick Arvan gets this game underway. Rovers, they will be playing with a fairly stiff breeze at their back. That's the first challenge. Sam Latus feeling the full weight of Michael Platt and Olivier Ellimer, and I think we can
well, you've talked about Chris Welham's tries. Hull Kingston Rovers tries aren't a problem. They can get over the try line. The problem and the reason why they're not currently in the 8, I would say, is that they haven't been able to defend the line well enough. That's the test here, and what you've described as a sudden death game.
Yes, very much a sudden death. The two coaches know it. I'm sure that they have got the message through to their players as well. That's Ian Sibbett returning to the side, as is Jamie Langley. But that's the kick, high, and underneath it was Briscoe. He made a fumble at that and he missed it. He's ground the ball in goal, hasn't he? It doesn't matter anyway because they're trapped in goal and it's going to be a goal line dropout. Sean Briscoe on his way to Widnes next year, and well, Dennis Betts won't want to see too much of that tonight.
No, he's usually a lot more reliant, isn't he, Sean Briscoe? He was a little bit awkward, didn't get his body into position, realises that he's put a lot of pressure on his side. It'd be
okay, Michael.
Well, a really good opportunity now for the Bulls to strike early.
They do have this wind at their backs, though. Hull KR, the goal line dropout arrives at Herbert's hands, just over the halfway line in his own half. Lynch trundles it back for the Bradford Bulls. And that's Danny Addy, the dummy half. Gareth Rayner now.
2, move, all the 10.
Addy once again, 21 on his back, 20 years of age, sub in each of the last 6, with Lestrange and Diskin out for the season. He's a scrum half, really. This is Langley, gets the ball away to Herbert. He finds Jeffries. And the ball goes to ground and finds its way to Patrick Arvan. And Arvan is held up just short of the line. And a plunge from dummy half, and James Child will hand this on. I think it was Elliot Whitehead who dived between the legs. He's just checking the grounding here via the eyesight of Ian Smith in the video box.
Well, it was obvious, wasn't it? Whitehead was going to take the opportunity, quick play the ball. Arvan went very, very close.
I think both players know. I don't think that Bradford would have got across with the urgency to prevent that try. Nice play. I love teams attacking from scrums. And Sam Latus tried to get on the outside. But just did you notice the number of white shirts across? They know they've worked for 9.5 months to get to this position. And if they don't work for the remaining 80 minutes here today, the season is probably over.
Yes, it would be too much ground to make up. 5 points adrift with just 3 matches remaining would be the situation if Bradford lose this.
Good work,
Addy, good run.
Good work from the hooker there, and really should have got the penalty. I thought there was quite a few of the Rovers defenders not back the 10 metres.
They're running it, Bradford. That's Jeffrey's ball out wide. There's Whitehead trying to go down the line, and they're going to get 6 more here because that ball was played at as Whitehead tried to knock it down the line, and he was first to react to the loose ball. So 6 to go here for Bradford. Definitely played up by Welham.
No doubt about that at all. More pressure. Good offload there by Lynch.
Scrambling defence for Hull Kingston Rovers to halt Brett Kearney, and too much messing around in the ruck by Dobson and co. It's a penalty for Bradford. Now, will they take the kick at goal here? Will they take the 2 points on offer? Yes, they will.
Not surprisingly, pressure match, as we've mentioned, right from the kick-off. I think he's a little bit smart there from Michael Dobson, and he thought that his defence was all over the place. Just hang around at the play the ball area. Okay, give away the penalty. Rather give away the 2 rather than maybe the 6.
Do you think you can win a game in this sort of weather on conditions and pitch as good as this? by kicking at goal, Brian, in rugby league. Bear in mind, I'll just give you some evidence. The last 2 matches he's played, an average of over 70 points scored. You're going to see tries on a night like tonight.
Well, you spoke about sudden death and knockout football and playoff for the playoffs. Well, if that's the case, you'd expect a tight game. You'd hope for a tight game. You'd hope the standard of the competition would be such that it would be a tight game. And if it is a tight game, well, then goal kicks will be all important.
Well, you might not win matches, but you might win a few, Bob, on this, because apparently the odds for the first points on this match tonight coming from the boot of Patrick Arvan or from a Hull Kingston Rovers kicker Michael Dobson was 11-2. And someone's rich because he's kicked it. Arvan and Bradford are ahead by 2 points to 0.
Never mind 11-2, that 2-0, that could be the difference. I agree with Brian in as much that this is a very nervous game. We realise that. And that usually indicates that it's a forward game early, try to just not do too much fancy. A lot of work from the scum half position from the play the ball area and just a one-out football throughout.
When you look back, Hull are going to be very, very disappointed. They had a scrum in a great attacking position, decided to win. Justin Morgan saw Sam Ladas run out in the first tackle. Poor error to make.
Yeah, Justin Morgan, who will be pastures new next year. The club and him have agreed to part company at the end of this season. He is desperate to finish on a high, take them to the playoffs at the expense of their cross-city neighbours. And after Hull's big win against the Catalan Dragons on Friday night, well, for Hull Kingston Rovers, they simply have to win here as well to maintain that dream of sending Justin Morgan away happy.
Yeah, rather surprising that they chose to part company. I thought that Morgan was on a long-term contract.
I think he's got a couple more years to go, but obviously they've decided between them that the parting of the ways. He's been there a good long time. He's done a fantastic job at Craven Park since gaining them Super League status 5 years ago. They say a shelf life of a coach is about 5 or 6 years. Good job they don't say that about commentators.
One, move, hold.
Silence.
Is golden. Here's Latus again. Steve would have been retired 8 times.
Wait.
Thanks for your support. Oh, that's good defence by Bradford.
Surrender.
They look keen. Okay, they've got those 2 points, and psychologically that could be a real lift. But it looks as though Mick Potter have been working on the defence very, very hard this week. See how they're moving right across and not allowing the Rovers any room to move at all.
He's a key man for Rovers, Clint Newton, who's struggling to get to his feet, plays the ball, and off boot this time of Green. Did well there, Patrick Arvan, to take that, because that was coming right outside at him.
And the tactics were right there, wasn't it? Blake Green knew that the lengthening shadows would be very difficult for the big winger.
Made it look very easy, though, Patrick Arvan.
Machu, he's got good upper body strength. It's not easy to put him off.
Talk about strength, that man there playing the ball for Bradford, Andy Lynch, he's been fantastic in a side that are outside the top 4. You know, only 4 players in Super League have made more metres than him this year, Eddie. And those are Robbie Graham, Sam Tompkins and Clinton Shivskovsky. He's been remarkable for Bradford. Offloads the ball. I just don't know whether his team have capitalised on his ability to offload. Having a quick, elusive player around the back when he pops it is maybe something that the Bulls will need tonight.
Oh, he's lost possession there. Great opportunity now. Let's go up
Out to the match that he would have wanted. Here goes Michael Platt for the Bradford Bulls.
10 metres. Stop.
Just dislodged it there. That was good defence.
Get the ball wide to Jeffries. Grabbed by Peter Fox. Jeffries in at dummy half. Goes down the short side. A drive for the line by Sibbett.
Hell 3, goal line.
Briscoe low down, 2 more over the top. And on the charge, here they come again.
4.
Just short, Andy Lynch, ever present. Great servant, as Phil was just saying, ever present with Kopjak and Whitehead this year. Trying to give it some space now. It's Herbert again. He dabs the ball in behind the defence. Was the Bradford man the chaser? Was he taken out? No, says referee James Child. Briscoe to the rescue on his own line. Webster will use his strength.
Well, it certainly was contact there when he put the kick through. And he saved the day. Sean Briscoe, as Eddie has already mentioned, having a bit of a nervous start as the Rovers full back.
If you split the game, Brian, into 8-10 minute chunks, which side would you be, which coach would be the happiest after the opening 10?
Well, I like what Bradford are doing, Phil. They were very disappointing in their defeat against Warrington, and especially seeing what they'd done the week before, beating Huddersfield 36 points to 0 here. I think they've had a very, very good start to the game. We spoke about it being tight, and they've played a sensible game. They've tried to get to their kick, and they've put pressure on Hull KR's line, albeit thanks to a couple of uncharacteristic Sean Briscoe errors. That job has been made a little bit easier for the Bradford Bulls.
Well, I must say that Justin Morgan, the Rovers coach, wouldn't have been happy with that kick. They looked confused. They really did not get themselves sorted out. And when you know you've got the quality of Michael Dobson, who normally he controls things out there, they got completely lost when it came to the last.
Taylor with the tackle on Carney. This is Herbert. Ball goes back on the inside again. Bryn Hargreaves. He goes down, tackle number 4. Danny Addy behind him, clapping his hands, wanting to get on with it, and finds Jeffries, who goes wide to Sibbett. And he did well to hang on to that, did Elliot Whitehead, in his 55th consecutive appearance tonight. Langley to Jeffries, up goes the kick. Oh, and they've all left it. Laters has come for it and missed it. It's another set of 6. Oh no, it's still 5, says the referee. Well, surely that was touched, wasn't it, by Sam Laters?
Well, it certainly looked that way, but it was very, very confident indeed, the official James Giles. It was a great kick, wasn't it? Well, surely Laters has got a hand to that.
Came off Platt's chest, I think, but I'm with you. I think Laters got a hand to that.
Well, Sam Laters heavily involved there. On the left side of the field, Peter Fox, he's made 2 very, very good decisions to come in off his wing and shut down Bradford's attacking play. When you come in like that, you've got to come up with either body or the ball, and he's done it on both occasions.
Big problem for Rovers here, that everybody left it to everybody else.
Well, that's it. You need a call from your winger. I think that's got to be your winger's ball. You've got to get a clear call. OKR snap out on the left.
Great ball from Galea, finds Peter Fox.
Oh, he should have passed. He had support on the inside.
It was Scott Morrell who's on off the bench for Rovers early. He was the man who would have been over the line had that pass come. This now is a drive-in from Scott Taylor. And the touch judge is on. I think he's seen something in back play. I think someone was hit after the ball went.
I think Oliver Elmer left Blake Green on the ground. The touch judge has decided he needs to speak to the referee about it.
Yeah.
Green's released the ball, and late, Elima's knocked him over.
Okay, do no point of contact on that.
No, on the shoulder. Okay. It's on the shoulder. Okay.
Olivia?
Interesting decision for the referee here. I know it's not a kick, but it's a late challenge. And late challenges on kickers are automatically yellow cards.
Well, he may be fortunate on this occasion. It looks as though Mr. Childs is going to completely eliminate it, but that was poor defence from Bradford. Ben Jeffries was caught way out on that right-hand side. It allowed Peter Fox to break away, but he had Scott Morrell screaming for it. He had an open run towards the line. They've blown it.
Hodgson restarts. Latest drives it in again for Rovers.
Hold. Go.
Oh, that's not the best from Hodgson. He just, well, he looked one way and passed the other. I think Hodgson's nicked the ball. We thought he had. Ellimer said, no, you're not going to get that.
Well, that should be a penalty. Made no attempt to get back to 10. Oh, that was very poor indeed.
Away goes Michael Platt for Bradford. He's got support from Herbert. Herbert stepped through the challenge of Latus, and Herbert will go to the corner and score. Well, Hull Kingston Rovers, their mistakes are being punished by Bradford and Mark Herbert. He missed the heavy defeat at Hull Kingston Rovers in May, and he hadn't scored in his last 12 appearances until that moment. That's his 4th try of the campaign. Michael Platt with the original break, and he managed just to step his way out of the challenge from Sam Laters. But Hull KR will be thinking what might have been, because Peter Fox had the break on the other side not too long ago.
Great opportunity there. You'll see that Ben Jeffries just couldn't get the tackle in. He's in a wonderful position there, it is Scott Morrell. They've blown it, but Platt, look at that. Poor defence. He kept his cool. That was a tremendous offload there. And Herbert screams into the corner like a human dynamo, this fella. Given the opportunity, Platt. Calm, cool and collected. He knew he was going to make it. What a turnaround. It should have been Rovers getting the first try, and it's this fella that has snatched it. But great play by the centre, Michael Platt.
Mark Herbert with the try. He's a former Canberra teammate of Michael Dobson from the NRL. Didn't play too often together with the Green Machine. And Arvan, well, that's an interesting way of finding your way above the crossbar. It went left, came back right. It's a little bit like one of Brian Carney's golf shots there.
Like you with your putter. You know who I want to give credit to in the build-up to that try is young Danny Addy. We spoke about him again before the game. When that ball was turned over, Hull KR, poor attacking play, and it broke down. Danny Addy rushed to get that ball, to get into dummy half, get in, run, and play that ball as quick as he could. His quick play of the ball allowed Brett Carney to set up Michael Platt for the break. It was Danny Addy's urgency to play this ball quick and put Hull KR on the back foot after the ball was turned over that created that try for Bradford.
And we've just seen the first try on this Odsal Stadium pitch for Mark Herbert. His fourth of the campaign, but his first here at home. You know, Hull Kingston Rovers have got a dreadful record on this ground. They have not won in Super League here, and they've been on the end of some hefty scorelines as well.
You've got to take your opportunities, and that was a golden one there when Peter Fox made that break.
Langley trying to muscle his way past those two. Now it's Herbert again. Up the middle it goes.
You talk about the standing hooker, Danny Addy. You know, a lot of people thought, myself included, Eddie, that Bradford might miss the fact when they haven't got an experienced hooker out there, but he's doing a fine job.
Yeah, we mentioned it in the pre-match build-up. Brian and I in the studio thought that this was an area where Hull Kingston Rovers could cause some chaos around the ruck, but Danny Addy's doing well, and they've got young Adam O'Brien, who's an England Academy hooker, who's tipped for a big future, waiting to come on when he gets the green light from Mick Potter. And they're scooting away from dummy half, as you've seen, the Bradford Bulls.
Interesting to see how that Justin Morgan is organising attack. He's using the Scott Morrell as first receiver, and you see Michael Dobson going out wide. That'll be far too strong.
He had to hurry the kick, Dobson, because he was under great pressure.
That's it. You got to give credit to Ian Sibbett, I believe it was in that instance, who made the effort to come out and put pressure on Michael Dobson. If you don't do that, Eddie, if you don't run out and put that little extra effort in, Michael Dobson has time to put a calculated kick up, which could cause an awful lot more trouble for the Bradford defenders.
This is Patrick Arvan again.
There is the pressure.
And here is the pressure coming in now at the other end, but they've lost the ball on halfway, Bradford. It's Hull Kingston Rovers who've come up with the possession. And it was Mick Vella. Here is Taylor, Scott Taylor.
Well, Rovers really have got to up the tempo in regards to the... Yeah, good work by Vella, but they've got to up the tempo of the Rovers in the forwards. It's no good having two good halfbacks in Green and Dobson, but they've got to lay the platform, and I'm afraid they're struggling to get over that advantage line.
Scott Wheeldon's on the field.
Well, they're trying to go to their left as much as possible, aren't they? Looking at Elliot Whitehead, Patrick Arvan. This side, they come the opposite way of Blake Green, though.
That looked a forward pass. It was. Yeah. It reached Clint Newton.
It's something that's crept into our game. This flat pass that nearly all the coaches want to utilise. And you could see quite clearly there with the camera angle that he was going forward to Newton. He had to just reach away for it. If you just hesitate, just for that split second, you can get caught out sometimes.
Justin Morgan seeing his team coming up with the forward pass. I must say there were one or two forward pass decisions that went against Huddersfield on Friday night that didn't look forward. Although to his credit, Nathan Brown did not use it as an excuse.
I think they'd be fair enough to say, look, that's not why we lost the game. There's plenty of other areas we need to look at.
Here they go again. It's Andy Lynch. He gets the ball away to Carney. It's tackled, not completed. Now it is by Taylor.
And that's taking advantage of what Andy Lynch can do when he can keep the ball alive when he's made 2 yards. Can they capitalise, convert this excellent position into even more points?
There's Danny Addy again, and Jeffries will dig the ball over the top and work for Fox to do, and he comes to the rescue in the end, Peter Fox.
Beautiful kick, wasn't it? Created all sorts of trouble. Fox just got there in time, but it's more pressure. This is the break from Andy Lynch. And then the offload. That's superb play. It really is, yeah.
Great play from Lynch, but Justin Morgan won't be too impressed with that defence.
No, that's that porous defence we saw against Huddersfield. I thought they might have tried to tighten that up. I'm sure they're making an effort to tighten it up. But Bradford are starting to find holes in this Hull KR defence in and around the ruck.
Peter Fox to the rescue. He palmed the ball out for this goal line drop out. He's another one who's on his way out. He will rejoin Wakefield in 2012. Seems to have fallen out of favour at Craven Park this year. Peter Fox.
Move! Wasn't that long ago? He was an England winger, was it?
England international, you're right. And, he averages a try every other game in 4 seasons with Rovers, so he's a strike player. Addy gets the ball away.
Went backwards.
I think this is Rovers' ball.
I think Webster has stolen it 1-on-1. Ellimer had the opportunity. Addy lost it. Went backwards, said the official. And now they're messing around, wouldn't allow them the chance to play the ball. I'm not so sure that Mick Potter will be happy about that. It really should never have been tried to offload. Danny Addy really should have gone to ground with that one.
Ellimer, the French international,
On the line. On his foot.
wouldn't allow Rovers to get to their feet and play the ball, so here they come once again with young Sam Latus. He's featured in the last 3 in Super League. That looked a touch forward as well.
Good work by Michael Platt. Straight out of that blind side.
He did exactly what you have to do, Steve-O, when you're defending against Clint Newton. Get up as soon as you can into his face and shut the play down.
Great pressure on Dobson there also. That's great play from Whitehead. He just did enough then to hold Scott Morrell. Langley finished him off with Lynch. They're right on halfway here. Hull KR. Dobson again. Great pressure from Whitehead. That's 2 in a row, and I tell you what, Dobson's felt that.
Why wouldn't you? That really was big impact and pressure.
And Blake Green's kick was poor, straight into the arms of Carney.
What's really interesting for me, Eddie, is whether Hull Kings Rovers will persist with that now for the next 20 minutes. Repeatedly, they've gone to Dobson on that far side of the field, asking questions of Jeffries and Elliott. Whitehead there, who makes that tackle. Will they continue to do that now? Because it was clearly their intention when they've arrived here this evening.
And it's now the Bradford Bulls' turn to go down that right-hand side with Ian Sibbett. Jeffries. Infield it comes once again.
The biggest problem for the Rovers at the moment is this, that the forwards are moving in that one line and then they are just hesitating and hanging back, which makes sure that Bradford gets over the advantage line with considerable ease. This will be a high kick now.
Addy to Herbert. Up it goes. That will hang in the breeze. This time Briscoe gets to it without further ado.
Great pressure there by Langley. He controlled it as well. Made sure that he didn't catch him in the air.
Half a burst from Fox. Briscoe's been involved, hasn't he, in quite a bit of the action tonight already. Here goes Weller. Well, he thought he was. Jeffries hung on to him.
Well, it's not surprising that they're giving him plenty of work, Eddie, because Sean Briscoe came up with a couple of errors early in the piece. Mick Potter would have said, look, put him under even more pressure. But I've been impressed with the way that the Bulls' defence have worked hard so far.
Ben Fisher's out there, and he gives it to Green. Goes further wide to Dobson. Forward pass. I'm not sure that was. I'm not sure that was.
Well, Galea was screaming through. As I say, it's a move that nearly all... Oh, yeah, it was going forward. Only slightly, but it's sufficient. Well, we complained for several months, actually, in regards, and I think that's forward.
Is it forward? Is it clearly forward? Has he passed it in front of the man with it who's holding the ball?
I'd like to see his hands. I'd like to see the position of his hands. That's what they're supposed to look at.
What that play does do, it answers your question, Phil. He has seen something out there that he likes, Michael Dobson. He's going to keep knocking on the door, and he's going to hope it's going to open at some stage.
25 minutes gone, and Bradford are ahead by 8 points to 0. Rovers did have the opportunity down the left-hand side with Fox's break. He didn't see Morell in support, and Bradford went up the other end immediately after and scored. There is young Adam O'Brien. Here is Mark Herbert. Not the best pass, but it finds its way to Michael Platt.
And again, this Rovers defence hanging back, not committing themselves, and they're putting themselves in all sorts of trouble.
Galea eventually marshalling his defenders there. Dobson got to him. There's O'Brien once again, and Jeffrey's crossfield kick. Well claimed, Latus. He was taken out in the air.
Well done. Well done. You asked the question before, Eddie, the first kick that went up to him. Whose ball was it? Well, he answered it that time. Left Jake Webster no doubt as it was his ball, he was going to take it.
You know what they've had with Sam Latus, though? A couple of tap penalties. They send him in here the first man. I'm not sure it's been the most successful ploy for them. They've decided to go to big Jordan Cox, a bigger man in the middle. But whoever takes the ball can't seem to make any ground here now. The speed with which Bradford are racing at them to defend.
Well, it's quite obvious, Phil. You see the difference. Bradford, as you mentioned, they're out of the blocks. They're not taking 2 steps, then hanging back. They're forcing the errors from the Rovers. They've got to sort themselves out. Justin Morgan has to get the message out there. Listen, let's just calm down a bit and get through some good, hard, solid work. Not try to score a try on every move.
Fisher gets the ball away from dummy half. Here is Blake Green again. That's a lovely sidestep inside. Finds Morell, and here goes Fisher. Good tackle by Carney. Last one, might have been a penalty. Carney held on to the ankles. Here is Dobson, slides the kick in. Arvan to the rescue.
Great work by the winger. Anticipated the little dink through into the in-goal area.
Great signing for Widnes next year, Patrick Arvan.
It certainly is. Pinpointed at a man that reads the game exceptionally well, and look at that. Right from the whitewash, comes on the ankle.
Begs the question as to why Bradford had let him go. Just his first season, he's an accomplished goal kicker, he can score tries, he's a handful.
Maybe they were outbid. You know, we're in a salary cap sport, aren't we? If another side chooses they need a player, they can pay more than what other clubs. So that's
and it's a 2-year deal at Widnes. Maybe Bradford only offered him 12 months. Who knows? We aren't privy to the whys and wherefores of the boardroom. Whoa, there's a missed kick there by Herbert. It's a knock on.
Well, it took an eternity. Jordan Cox.
I wonder whether it was a missed kick or did he actually get taken out there?
No, Jordan Cox has got to him, but he's allowed to do that. As soon as Cox has decided that he's continuing, he just took it too long.
It's a knock on then, isn't it? He's lost the ball forward.
And it was on the last, so it's the turnover on halfway. A chance here for Rovers then.
Move, Craig, hold this 10. Wait.
Jordan Cox, back row forward. He can also play prop. He's a big lad.
To be fair, I always feel that Rovers play better when they've got Ben Fisher out there.
Good drop-off pass found Briscoe, but they found him. Ben Fisher in there, and Blake Green is hurt. Fisher to Morell.
Move, come on. Hold.
Wheeldon will play the ball to Fisher again. And Galea, well, he has usually so much experience. And here come Bradford on the counter with Carney. And let's get down to Bill, we've got some news.
Well, Blake Green is taking a bit of stick from Olivier Elmer. It's been going on for most of the game, in fact. Elmer, of course, taking Green out earlier on with a late shot. He took him out just then and left Green on his knees on the deck. He's still having treatment, clutching his head a moment ago. So Olivier Elmer out to make a point, as it seems the Bulls are this evening.
Tom Burgess. His first run since coming on to replace Andy Lynch. Of course, his brothers, all 3 of them, in Australia in the NRL with South Sydney, and Russell Crowe, the Gladiator, and Tom Burgess deciding to stay here. Nice little kick over the top, finds touch from Ben Jeffries.
He's got all of the experience, hasn't he? Okay, he may not have the speed, but he's got the nous. He knows with this 8-point lead, just keep turning them around, because he knows that the Rovers are really disorganised. Back to basics, surely. Morgan has to get that message out.
We're going to see Bradford again on Friday. They're at the home of the champions, Wigan. It's HD1 at 7:30 on Friday, and we're going to nip across to Wakefield on Saturday to see the big derby against the Castleford Tigers. HD3 at 5 next Saturday. So Wigan Friday and Wakefield Saturday. 2 of the W's of the Super League.
2, move all the way.
Half an hour gone here at B for Bradford. Newton will drive it forward.
If they can pick up the pace of the play the balls, Eddie, Holker, I'm talking about this thing, they're going to have a chance. They're playing it too slow. I know a lot's got to do with Bradford's defence. They need to speed the game up.
Oh, that's a harsh call for a knock-on.
I don't think he got a fingertip to that.
Well, even if he did, it was going backwards, wasn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Later on, when he hits the ball, it looks like he's going to the sidelines. Just look here now on this call. The referee says that's not forward.
No, that went backwards.
Well, it certainly appears that way, doesn't it? Maybe from a different angle.
Okay, let's
misses out, and Morel went through.
Oh, I'd give it a knock-on.
You'd give a knock-on, Brian?
Yeah, it's 13 aside, Eddie.
Only 4 of us up here. You're in the minority.
Go, Jake, you're off.
Got to be careful now, Rovers, because they are really winding up at the balls.
Come on.
They're building in confidence. You can feel it. They know that they're controlling this game at the moment.
Burgess will drive it in. As I say, Sam, Luke and George all down under with South Sydney. O'Brien gets the ball away. Here is Craig Kopjak.
Move, Clint. Hold.
O'Brien again will have a dab for himself.
Just short.
He was
thinking there. Good job that Morel was in front.
Outstanding member of the England Academy squad that beat the Aussies last year. O'Brien, high kick out to the wing looking for Gareth Rayner. Well, that's a knock-on. 2 knock-ons, 1 each way, and Rayner's was the first.
Well, there was a neat little kick into the corner there by Herbert, put a lot of pressure. Rayner certainly, gets to it and then just fumbles at the vital moment.
He's playing well, isn't he, Gareth Rayner? He's having a good season for Bradford Bulls. Getting in at dummy half, he is playing ball quick, causing trouble to the defenders. Good to see him back near at his best.
And there's O'Brien, this young man. Great hopes for his future, but he's penalised there. Well, he just the England Academy hooker, as I say, against the Aussies last year. 12 goals he kicked in 2 tests.
Just had a trailing leg there, couldn't get out of the way. It's
on his foot, guys.
Well, then will this lift the spirits of the Rovers outfit, who have been, a bit confused?
Well, they can't really win away from home, Rovers, in 2011. That's the major problem. They hammered Bradford 46-18 when they met in May, but they've not been able to transfer the home form to Odsal, but they have here with Ben Galea. And it was a little layoff pass from Dobson that opened the door.
Well, they've been working out on that left-hand side for several occasions. Remember, they were brought back for a forward pass when it looked as though they'd made their first clean break. But the magical touch from Michael Dobson just delayed it at the right moment, and Galea went straight through. It all came about by the penalty from O'Brien. You can see that it just trails his leg away. Couldn't get it out quick enough. 30 metres downfield, and watch the skill factor of Dobson. Beautiful pass. Galea comes at the right moment. A nice step off the left boot. Watch the step as soon as he gets it. Bang! No chance for Brett Kearney. And all of a sudden the visitors have got themselves back into this game. And boy, didn't they need it.
Dobson's little pass, and Dobson here with the boot to try and add the extras that will really get Rovers back in the hunt here. Great try from Galea. 33 on Tuesday. He'll play on in 2012. They'll be delighted at Craven Park that he is. It's 8-6 to Bradford. They've clawed their way back into a game.
Well, Dobson's just added 2 more points. The fact that he had 4 options here when he has the ball in his hands is one of the reasons why it's so difficult to defend. And he's able to find the right pass at the right time. Ben Galea is always going to hit the hole hard and straight, able to sidestep off that left foot. When you look at that again from an aerial position, you have 2 men as viable options on his inside and 2 men on the outside. Very hard for the Bradford defence to pick.
The reason that was great half-back play is because not only not playing as a halfback, you have to be able to change up if things aren't working for you. If you're going down that side and it's not working, you've got to have the ability to change. You also need the courage of your convictions. Back yourself. If you came here with a game plan, seeing the right edge of Bradford and thinking you can get a result from that, stick with it. Michael Dobson did on that occasion, and he got the results.
He did, courtesy of Ben Galea. We were talking earlier about Andy Lynch being such a very key figure for Bradford. This man here on the ball now, Ben Galea, he has been a tower of strength this year for Hull KR. He's now scored 13 tries, by the way, in all competitions. That's a career best.
And that
good
is
chase.
That is a great kick, and as Eddie mentioned, a very good chase indeed. Message has got out, kicked early, they didn't wait till the last, went on the fourth.
You could actually, sorry, Steve, you could actually hear the Bradford play, the Hull Kingston Rovers players shout, "Let's go, let's go!" The sense here, an opportunity before half-time to apply some more pressure and maybe even score again. You know, players on the field are the best people that tell you how the game's going, and maybe they just feel that Bradford have just hit a bit of a lull. Although that's another strong carry from Tom Burgess.
Gets to his feet, plays it to O'Brien. Jeffries, they go wide with Sibbett. Further wide it goes to Whitehead. That's the last one. They're just inside Hull KR territory. Mick Potter watching anxiously on. Ooh, they're running this. Well, they're not now. O'Brien's kick. Bit hurried. Finds Peter Fox. And
it's good play, intelligent. They were told to give 10 metres.
And he was coming back this way.
And Dobson said, "Get back over there, we'll get a penalty and kick it to touch, gain ground."
Exactly, he directed the traffic. Just watch Michael Dobson here.
It's perhaps poor play from the Bradford defenders, though. They could clearly hear the referee shouting him to give 10. The man has to have 10 metres to run clearly of the ball if you're in front of him, the kicker, when it's kicked.
Dobson like a policeman on traffic duty.
It's entrapment.
He's a clever player, there's no doubt about it, Michael Dobson. And he's not the 8-ball when it comes to sort of organising things out there. He really is a great talent.
And they won't be complaining, Rovers, about the penalty count. It's 5-1 in their favour. Can they make something of this? Finds its way untidily to Sam Latus. That's good defence, though, from Rayner. And Michael Platt was in there quickly, too.
Well, it needs another drive down the middle, and then they'll put the kick into the corner. Nearly got through, didn't he?
He nearly did. Scott Morrell, good tackle needed by Tom Burgess.
Well, it's got to be kicked into the left-hand corner now. You can see the lengthening shadows. They've got to go towards Patrick Arvan.
Oh, they're coming this way on the short side. A little dink towards the line, well collected by Rayner.
Well, I think that's poor play. It's very difficult for Patrick Arvan out wide in the centre, Elliot Whitehead. And they've gone the exact opposite to where the sun would have helped them.
Nick Scruton, battling run to the 20-metre line. Plays it to Arvan. That's 4 tackles gone. Good set of 6 here in defence for Rovers. O'Brien. Ball comes infield again to Tom Burgess. That's the last. Now wait for the kick, and there are 3 men having dropped back deep. There is the kick from Jeffries. And Briscoe gets to it. Gives it then to Peter Fox. Winger has a look. Goes backwards, goes round Whitehead. Straightens up now.
Quick play, the ball is needed, but you can see Arvan's all over him.
Wellen. Coming up to the last minute of this first half. Bradford 8, Hull Kingston Rovers 6. Tight, as we would expect, for a match of such importance to these two sides' playoff ambition. The winner can almost start organising their end-of-season party. The loser, rather, can almost start organising their end-of-season party after tonight. The winner will carry on and hope. That's great pressure again. On 12 on 12, Whitehead on Galea.
He's pinched it.
He has.
Great work. He's having a top game, isn't he? The big fella out there in that right centre. Elliot Whitehead, not only with ball in hand, but his defence has been absolutely top class. And gains possession.
Play on.
Elimat just loses it.
Knock on, scrum down here.
No advantage to Rovers, so the scrum will form. 20 seconds of this first half remaining. Rovers have formed the scrum, so the referee calls time off. French international Olivier Elema. This is his 4th Super League club. Signed from the Catalan Dragons back end of last year. Castleford and Wakefield as well. Now then, can Rovers produce something as Justin Morgan makes his way downstairs? With passing like that, they can't. Not with passing like that. He turns his back and he said, well, I think I might have seen enough.
I think there's going to be plenty said at the half-time break, especially in the Hull Kingston Rovers dressing room. He hasn't called full time as yet. Mick Potter, well, he'll be at least pleased that they've got the lead. Only 2 points, of course.
O'Brien, nice little run. Jake Webster does well. Thought they might have hoisted that ball high and taken a chance. Credit Rovers for their speed of their defensive line. So 8-6. Patrick Arvan with the penalty goal in the 7th minute. Herbert with a try on the quarter hour. Arvan improved that as well. 8-0. Bradford coasting. Hull KR have battled their way back into a match that was perhaps in danger of running away from them. Ben Galia's try. Dobson with the conversion.